All right, good morning, traders. Today is January 22nd, 2025. My name is John Kerrigan. I moderate the BYOB Trading Room. Thank you for being here. Thank you to all my new trial members. Thank you to everybody that finds value in my content. Appreciate that. Thank you to everybody that leaves a thumbs up, subscribes to my content. I love that as well. Thank you for the kind comments. I love it. Thank you. It keeps me going. All right, this morning, my SPY pivot, 601.56. Above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. Why does that say? Yeah, Diamond Dow, SPY, and IWM are all in daily uptrends. QQQ and FNGU remain in daily downtrends. All of the Fab 5 made higher lows and higher highs, closing over their bullish traps, over their 17 EMAs. SPY closed with a 2-hour uptrend and a 10-minute uptrend. Gold and silver both in uptrends, both made higher lows and higher highs, closing over bullish traps over the 17 EMAs. UNG, USO, both in uptrends, both made lower highs, lower lows, closing under bullish traps, but over the 17 EMAs. US dollar index in an uptrend, closed near the 108.16 area. All right, let's go take a look at some charts this morning. Good morning, Kathy. Thank you for all that you do. All right, so SPY on the 10-minute chart. Yesterday, before the close, this is the shaded section. Okay, before the close, all right, you can see we had ourselves 10-minute uptrend. All right, so for this morning, we are looking for a continuation of the 10-minute uptrend. All we need is a green candle, okay? It can't be a doji candle, can't be a red candle, and it can't be a topping wick candle, okay? We don't want more wick than we got body and tail, all right? Because that shows us no defined bullish presence, all right? We don't want a doji candle because we got both bears and bulls operating equally within the candle. All right, so we don't want a doji. Kind of says that candle is rest, all right, or they're pausing for a moment. Okay, we want to see a clear, defined bullish presence in the morning. Don't want a red candle, all right? Reason we don't want a red candle because the bears are operating and we're buying an uptrend, all right? It's all about control, okay? You want to look at the candle and decide who has the control this morning. All right, and is it in an uptrend, and how well is that uptrend operating? All right, so there's SPY 10-minute uptrend. We're looking for green candles, all right, for a continuation of the current 10-minute uptrend. Okay, on the 2-hour chart, nice 2-hour uptrend coming into the close. All right, on the daily chart, price action, higher low, higher high, closing over the bullish trap, over the hooking 17 EMA. Price action took out this high right here, that high right there, and that high right there. Price makes a higher high. That puts it in an uptrend, okay? So SPY hits uptrend status yesterday, making higher highs. Okay, so there's SPY. Let's take a look at QQQ. All right, QQQ did not hit uptrend status. You can see they failed to breach the high of this peak right here. Okay, QQQ made higher lows, higher highs, closed over the bullish trap, closed over the hooking 17 EMA. All right, for the QQQ game plan, all right, let's take a look at that on the 10-minute chart. Okay, so we want to see, we got ourselves a 10-minute uptrend into the close, all right? So we're looking for a green candle, all right, for continuation of the same trend. All right, again, it can't be a topping wick candle where there's way more wick than body and tail. No doji candles and no red candles, because red candles say that the bears are operating within that time frame, okay? Because the bears control it. It's red. The sellers are working in that area. Okay, so up over this area right here, 526.40, looking for a decent green candle for an entry for a 10-minute uptrend. Bearish entry underneath here, okay, that would be red erases green, okay? So we got price, same with SPY, is way up here. So we're going to take a box, okay? So price rallied from here, see the bottom of that tail, all the way up to here. Okay, so we want to see when the bears wipe out everything that the bulls have done there and then go further, okay, back underneath all of these tails right here, okay, that would be my bearish entry to the downside. My targets would be gap fill down here, okay, that would be a target, as well as all-time high anchored VWAP. Okay, so there's QQQ game plan. All right, up over this wick with a 10-minute candle, 10-minute trend, I want to be a buyer. Okay, all the way underneath this, where we wipe out everything that the bulls have just done and more. All right, underneath these tails, that's where I want to enter to the downside. Okay, there's the QQQ game plan. Just gave you the SPY game plan. All right, so let's go take a look at SPY. You can take a picture of it. All right, see there's the SPY game plan. Okay, all right, for options, what do I like? I like Friday options that expire this Friday. All right, I like them to be, so that would be 2 days till expiration or 9 days till expiration. I like them $2 to $5 out of the money. All right, that makes them more affordable. I don't get the same performance that I would on an in the money option. Okay, you want higher performance. Okay, go with a shorter time frame and go to in the money. All right, that's where you get more performance out of those. But you also, with that more performance, comes more risk. All right. So this is why I like what I like right here. 2 DTEs to 9 DTEs, Friday options, lots of liquidity there. All right, $2 to $5 out of the money. All right, I have less risk that way. All right, so we'll take a look at, let's go take a look at some other ones. This is the SPY game plan. Let's take a peek at, let's go take a look at Diamond Dow. Diamond Dow, on the daily chart, we have a peak right here. All right, price takes out that peak. There's a peak right there. Price takes out the peak. All right, so now that puts Diamond Dow in an uptrend. Price action, higher low, higher high, closing over the bullish trap, over the hooking 17 EMA. Okay, Diamond Dow in an uptrend. All right, IWM. IWM takes out this peak right here. Okay, price action, higher low, higher high, closing over the bullish trap, over the 17 EMA. Price action up over, caught underneath that all-time high anchored VWAP, but coming close to coming up over it there. So IWM in an uptrend, moving back up towards the all-time high anchored VWAP. That's this pink line. I'll color it differently. Okay. Oh, okay. So actually closing over the all-time high anchored VWAP. All right. So nice move for IWM. Let's take a look at FNGU. All right. FNGU needs to take out this high to negate the downtrend and convert the uptrend. Price action, higher low, higher high, closing over the bullish trap, over the hooking 17 EMA. Still bullish, up over the all-time high. Oh, excuse me. Let's move this over here. Over the all-time high anchored VWAP, up there in quadrant 4. Okay, FNGU daily chart, still in a downtrend. Looks like this morning they converted. They negated the downtrend and converted the uptrend. Looking at the price action this morning. Okay, so there's FNGU. let's take a look at let's go take a look at our technicals. T2122. We spent the day yesterday in the overbought zone. Okay, we could stay there for a while. We'll see what happens. All right. So spent the day T2122 up in the overbought zone. T2123. You can see we bounced, rubber band bounced out of this valley down here. This was the rubber band candle. We came up out of here. This was an prior all-time high. Shot through the falling 200 SMA. Put a whole lot of distance between that hooking 200 SMA and the price action from yesterday. Yesterday, green gapped up. That's bullish. Anytime the bears can't fill the gap, that's bullish. All right? When you don't see the bears filling those bullish gaps, that's a bullish sign that, the bulls are having a run. Okay, so T21. Here's a bullish gap. Here's a bullish gap. Okay, see how the bulls are gapping up and holding the higher ground. Okay, that shows me buyers have stepped in this area. Okay, so 15-minute on T2123 headed back up to another prior all-time high right here, this dark green line. We'll see how close we get to that this morning. All right, T2123 3-bar chart. Price action, you can see here's price. Turns from green to red way up here. All-time highs way up here. Price action rolls over. Comes down through the 200 SMA. Down through the prior all-time high. Down to the next prior all-time high. Rubber band candles out of there. Okay. And now we're back up here visiting the other prior all-time high. Okay, so we have gone from green to red, and now we have gone back to green. We'll see how far we get with this, all right? See if the bulls want to rally it all the way back to the backside of this flat 200 SMA. All right, let's take a look for this to start. I would like to see price get up here on top of this prior all-time high and start consolidating. In other words, hold the higher ground up there. All right, you can see price moving up, holding the higher ground. Moves up, holds the higher ground. Look at the candles. They go up, and then they flatline. They go up, and then they flatline. They gap up, run up, and then flatline. All right, so they're right up into resistance right now. We'll see if they can get up here and hold this area. If they're managed to do that, we would have ourselves an inverse head and shoulders, and we could look for the right arm to extend where the left arm left off. Back up here at the 200 SMA. There's T2123 3-bar chart. Let's take a look at FNGU. Price action for yesterday on FNGU. You can see it was green. We stayed up over the 17 from the beginning of the day to the end of the day, except for a couple candles. One here at the end and one here at the beginning of the day. All in all, they stayed up on top of VWAP almost all the day there. So price running up. Look at price moves up and holds the higher ground, and now they start melting up. All right, so there's FNGU. Price action up over that falling 200 SMA, good sign. Price action up over this all-time high anchored VWAP, that's a bullish sign. Price action breaking the downtrend line right there, okay, in the pre-market, post-market. That is a good sign, all right? So there's FNGU. Okay, FNGU has 10 of the most heavily weighted stocks in SPY and QQQ. That's why we follow it, because those 10 stocks can jerk the rest of the index around. Okay, they have that much weight and that much control over the index. All right, so that's why we watch FNGU, because those are the big boys. It's like the big boys players right there. They got so much market cap that they tend to push the rest of the index all around with whatever they're doing. So when they go flat, typically the market goes flat. All right, when they go up, they lift everything up with them. All right, so there's FNGU on the 15-minute chart. Okay, most of the time. All right, when they go up, they lift everything up with them. All right, now let's go take a look at a few sectors. We'll head back here. Let's start off with the energy sector, XLE. All right, XLE in a downtrend, all right, but not moving down, all right. Okay, here's the downtrend. They took out this low and this low and this low, all right. So they moved down here, all right, but they're no longer moving down. They're moving up, all right. So we're waiting for them to, let's try this one right here. You see price action, higher low, higher high. Closing up in quadrant 4, up over the all-time high anchored VWAP. That is bullish. They are kind of hot right now. I would look for them to cool off in this area right here. Hopefully they hold the higher ground up here. They don't have to go all the way back and retest the midpoint of this rally up, although that might be what they have to do. We'll see what happens. All right, again, still in a downtrend. Remember, it's just a label, all right? They're in a downtrend, okay? They will negate the downtrend if they take out this peak, all right? Or they can negate the label, the downtrend label, putting in a lower high, making a higher low, and then taking out that lower high, all right? That's XLE, all right? Still in a downtrend because they took out these lows. All right, so now they got to take out this high to negate the downtrend and convert the uptrend. It's either that or create a lower high and then come in and take it out. All right, so there's XLE on the daily chart. All right, so this is up over the all-time high anchored VWAP. That's bullish. Up in the upper third, that's bullish. Up in the upper quadrant, definitely bullish there. Okay, looking for this to cool off, maybe a nice little pullback. That would be nice, maybe to the midpoint and see that thing J-hook out of there. All right, that's XLE. That's our energy sector. UNG, all right. I'm looking for UNG buying opportunities, hopefully right in this buy box here, okay? Right around that 17, I might be interested in, I got to say, kind of like nibbling on a little bit right through there on UNG. Okay, UNG makes higher lows and higher highs. That's an uptrend. UNG's price action for yesterday, lower high, lower low, closing under the bullish trap. Now it's looking like a bearish cross, but over the rising 17 EMA. Okay, so right in the box, I'm looking for an opportunity to buy right in here, right on the top of this peak right here. All right. Right along, right through here, on top of this peak and on top of this peak. All right, so we're looking for our UNG opportunities to start legging into the next upside move. So there's UNG on the daily chart. All right, still in an uptrend, just lower high, lower low, closing under the trap, but over the rising 17. Okay, so price action is bullish up here. All right. Let's take a look at USO. USO, kind of the same candle. Lower high, lower low, closing under the trap, but over the 17 EMA, up in quadrant 4. That's bullish up there. UNG kind of, let me take that back on UNG. Not really bullish, more neutral bullish, okay? Only because they didn't close in the upper third or up here in the upper quadrant. Neutral bullish on UNG and USO. Just bullish right here. Nice. Okay, so daily chart, you can see the nice uptrend. Again, USO, anywhere and around the 17, like to see this cool off. You can see we're getting it to cool off some. Anywhere along the 17 in this upper third area. Okay, right over 78.57, I'm looking for to reload on my bullish run up here. So looking to reload right around 78.57. Somewhere around here in this box, between 78.57 and 80. It could pull back all the way to support. That would be the tops of all these peaks that run through here. You can see a little peak. All right, here's a peak right here. Here's a peak right there. There's a peak. See where the tops of these teepees go? Right there. That should be support. All right, so if they happen to come down to 75, well, that's awesome. Pick some more up. But I like between 78.50 and 80. I would expect a decent bounce coming off of there. So there's USO. Let's take a look at precious metals. All right, let's take a look at SLV. Okay, SLV in an uptrend made a higher low and a higher high. Okay, same with gold. Higher lows and higher highs. We'll get to that in a second. Yesterday's price action, higher low, higher high on the daily candle. Closing up over the bullish trap, over the 17 EMA. Silver just kind of neutral here, okay? It's not up in the upper third. It's not up in the upper quadrant, all right? They're still underneath the 12-year high anchored VWAP, but they are in an uptrend, all right? So just kind of neutral. Notice silver went up and gave it up, so they're just neutral, all right? When they start going up and holding that higher ground, okay, then we can take them from neutral to neutral bullish, all right? So there's silver. Take a look at gold. Gold did the same thing. Higher low, higher high. Closing over the trap, over the 17 EMA. You can see price action up in quadrant 4. That's bullish. See how they go up and they hold the upper third or the upper quadrant up here. The consolidation, very sloppy, but that's bullish. All right, so that's gold. Higher low, higher high. Closing over the trap, over the 17 EMA. Okay, so that's bullish on gold. Let's take a look at SMH, semiconductors. Semiconductors ripping a new high over this box or consolidation box. Let's box it in so we can show you what we see. Okay, see here's the top of these wicks. We're going to come right across that, down to the bottoms of these tails. There's our consolidation. A little breakout going on yesterday. Okay, they were in a downtrend. They just negated the downtrend by taking out this high right here, all right? So that makes them in an uptrend now. Higher low, higher high, closing over the trap, over the 17 EMA. Closing up over all-time high anchored VWAP. There's the all-time high anchored VWAP. It's a nice consolidation from September, actually August, all the way over. See how they move up and they move to the right, holding that higher ground up there. Okay, so SMH, daily chart, breaking out, now in uptrend status, no longer downtrend. Okay, up over the all-time high anchored VWAP. Nice work on SMH. XOK. All right, XLK, August low. You can see price action moves up, holds this higher ground. Price action yesterday, this is the all-time high anchored VWAP right here. Higher low, higher high, closing over the bullish trap, over the 17 EMA. They have to take out that peak right there in order to negate the downtrend. Price action, still in a downtrend. Remember, it's just a label, but we are up in quadrant 4, that is bullish. We are consolidating and holding this higher ground. That is bullish, XLK. Just in a downtrend, remember, it's just nothing but a label. All right, let's take a look at XLF. Here's the financials, still in an uptrend. They never took out this low. All right, price action for the financials, higher low, higher high. Closing over the bullish trap, over the 17 EMA, over the all-time high anchored VWAP. There's 5 days there. Okay, that is very bullish. All right, XLF in an uptrend, taking out that peak right there. So XLF now in an uptrend. And you can see right there, closing up in quadrant 4. That's bullish on XLF. Let's take a look at XLI. XLI in a downtrend, but not moving down. All right, so XLI, remember, it's just a label. Okay, price action. Okay, probably going to put it a lower high and J hook back up there and take it out. All right, so XLI in a downtrend, but up here in quadrant 4, up over the all-time high anchored VWAP. It's been up there for 1, 2, 3 days. All right, looking for a couple more. All right, price action for XLI. Still downtrend, higher low, higher high, closing over the trap, over the hooking 17 EMA, up in quadrant 4. That's bullish right there, okay? Remember, though, price action went up, and they gave it all up and more. See that? They went up, gave it all up and more. Now they're back up here in quadrant 4, so that makes them bullish. Okay, XLU. Utility sector. Okay, price action went up and then they gave it up. All right, price action on the daily chart, higher low, higher high. Here's a peak. They put themselves in an uptrend, taking out that peak right in the middle of these two little valleys right here. Okay, so that puts them in an uptrend. Price action for yesterday, higher low, higher high, closing over this bullish trap, over the hooking 17, over the all-time high anchored VWAP, back up here in quadrant 4. That's bullish on XLU. Let's take a look at XRT. It's the retail sector, still in an uptrend, but not moving up. Okay, got a nice candle yesterday, higher low, higher high, closing up over the 17. It's been a while since they've been over the 17. Okay, price action has put in higher low, higher high, closing over the trap. That's a bullish cross, and over the 17 EMA. Back in the upper third, okay? Neutral bullish there, okay? Remember they went up and gave it all up there, so they're just neutral, but they're up in the upper third. That puts them in a neutral bullish. All right, they have to start moving up and holding some of this higher ground. All right, they went all the way up, came all the way back. All right, so there's the daily chart closing in the upper third. Okay, up over all-time high anchored VWAP. Remember, that's about 3 years ago, though. All right, 3 years ago they put in the all-time high. It was a post-COVID rally right there, and that's where they made their all-time high on the retail sector. A lot of money flowing in the market back then. All right, so we'll see what happens. It's been 3 years. See what happens now. Okay, so there's XRT. Last one, IYT. Then we hit the economic package. IYT yesterday, price action, all right, was a higher low and a higher high, closing over the trap, over the 17 EMA. I don't think that candle's right. All right, but anyways, price action up over the all-time high anchored VWAP. They took out this high that puts them in an uptrend. So they negated the downtrend, converted the uptrend, making a higher low and a higher high. Price action, closing up here in the upper third, that's bullish. All right. They did a lot of damage. Remember, taking out this low, and this low. Pretty close to that one, not so much, but kind of gotten caught on the midpoint here. So we'll see if they can get back up into quadrant 4 and hold the higher ground. All right, so there's the transports. Let's take a look at the economic package. Here's the dollar, still in an uptrend. Okay, making higher lows and higher highs. We closed right here yesterday around 108.16, area right through here. You need to see price action, like to see the dollar start to weaken. All right, weaker dollar makes our goods and services more affordable around the globe, and that broadens our markets. All right, brings more revenue into the top line if we can open up new markets or have a weak dollar where people are willing to convert their currency to ours to pay us for our goods and services here in the USA. All right, so a weaker dollar is better. All right, you might think a strong dollar is good, but it's not, because it makes it the conversion rate from their currency to ours expensive for them, and they tend to pick on countries that offer the same product for less. All right, so there's dollar still in an uptrend. All right, we haven't made any lower lows yet. We're consolidating up here, but we haven't made any lower lows. Okay, so there's the dollar. Let's take a look at Max Payne. Let's refresh this. And Max Payne for today, the 22nd, 600. All right, and we have 1.5 puts for each call that expired today. So 600. We could see a visit back to 600. And remember, that is below our pivot. All right, 600, because our pivot's like 601.50. All right, so that would be a total erase of all the green that happened yesterday and more. All right, so let's take a look at earnings calendar for the 22nd. That's today, Wednesday. All right, notice I picked 2 DTE options, tomorrow and Friday. So Friday would be 2 days till expiration. All right, I want them to expire on Friday. Friday on the options all right, has higher open interest, all right, because you got the weeklies and the monthlies that expire on Fridays, all right. Well, the monthlies not every Friday, but the weeklies expire on Friday. Okay, so Wednesday, all right, for earnings, all right, reporting their earnings on Wednesday. This morning, Procter & Gamble reports 377 billion. All right, 355 billion from Johnson & Johnson. Abbott Labs, 197 billion. Progressive Corp, all right, 143 billion. Again, not sure if they're going to report today or another day. GE, 107 billion. Lee Iacocca's Place, 101 billion right there. All right, so a little bit of market cap reporting this morning. All big companies, they could move their sectors around, but they're not going to be market movers as far as manipulating the market because their capitalization is so big that they're going to push or bulldoze the market into one direction or the other. Okay, they're probably just going to help out whatever sector they're coming from. Okay, again, familiar names, but not going to move the market. Thursday, Intuitive Surgical reports in the evening. GE Aerospace in the morning, 194 billion for GE Aerospace. Intuitive Surgical, 208 billion in the evening. Also in the evening, got some tech reporting. Texas Instruments, 170 billion. They're going to report with Intuitive Surgical. Union Pacific, got some railways right here, 142 billion. And some other familiar names, CSX, another railway. Freeport McMoran, raw materials right there. Again, some other big names here, all right, but not going to move the markets. Friday, American Express, a little bit of financials reporting in the morning time, 219 billion. Verizon, that's communications, 160, I think that's 161 billion. NextEra Energy, 148 billion right there, all in the morning on Friday. Options expiration Friday. For Monday, AT&T is going to report 157 billion. Okay, all these big players, all right, but they're not going to move the markets around. Okay, like I said, familiar names, but not really going to move the markets. All right, so we just did the earnings. All right, we did the dollar. We did the Max Payne. Let's hit the economic calendar. This morning, 8:30, we're going to have jobless claims. Gas report at 10:30. It's wide open for the bulls to run this week. All right, no main events, no CPI, no FOMC. Everything's really light economic data coming out this week. All right, so if the bulls want to run it up to the all-time high, it's free sailing. All right, because nothing's going to stop them except for some poor earnings. All right, and I don't know if we've had any poor earnings since then. PMI composite flash on Friday, all right, and then we got existing home sales at 10 on Friday, consumer sentiment at 10 on Friday, then a recount at 1 o'clock. Okay, so today, not much going on. Tomorrow, jobless claims, gas report, petroleum report. That's it. Nothing. Really light week this week for the economic data. All right, I take questions in the room. If there's no questions, all right, I'm going to go ahead and render my video. I'm going to come up with an orientation for all my trial members. We're going to record it so you guys can see it. All right, I'm going to kind of point out what you guys need to help you succeed in this room if you're going to trade whatever you're going to trade. All right, and is the earning calendar a free service? No, it's just a website. It's free. Right here. I'm on here. The earnings calendar. It's just NASDAQ. I'm going to copy it so you can have a copy of it. All right. All right. It's public knowledge. It's right there. You can just add it to your browser. All right. Actually, I'll put all of these in there for you. Okay. I'm going to put in the dollar. Here's the dollar. All right. So you guys can have them all. Because I want you guys to succeed. All right. That's the dollar. I just gave you the one before it was the NASDAQ. That's the earnings calendar. Okay, here's my max pain for the SPY. All right, and here's the economic calendar that I use. And there's other economic calendars out there that work just as well. And not to say that this earnings calendar is the best or this economic calendar is the best. There's others that work just as well. All right, just so you know. All right, I'll see you guys in about probably 30 minutes here. Let me get this rendered. All right, and we'll check out the markets. Hey, thank you very much. All right, take a little break here.